All right, welcome back, everyone. Today's episode is called Psychological Splitting and the Need for a Verdict. Have you ever looked in the mirror or stepped on the scale and felt sadness, disappointment, or even defeat hit you instantly? If you live with chronic stress, early adversity, or nervous system dysregulation, this reaction can feel intense, as if it has come out of nowhere. And the thing is, often there's a story underneath this reaction, and that story may not even be true. Does it feel like your body has become the measure of who you are? Is it as if the condition of your body is telling you something about your worth? If so, this episode is for you. Today we're looking at one of the ways the mind can distort what it sees when the nervous system's under stress. It's a process called splitting, and it can take something changeable, complex, and human, such as our body, and turn it into an absolute, a verdict, a category, an identity conclusion. And once this happens, the body stops feeling like information and starts feeling like proof of who we are. In this series, we're going to slow that moment down, all the way down, and look at what's happening beneath that story. So why does this matter? When the nervous system's on high alert, the mind often tries to protect us by becoming certain. One way it does this is through this process called splitting. Splitting can happen with or without any diagnosis. Under stress, many of us can slip right on into black and white thinking, especially in one area more than another. In simple terms, splitting is when the mind stops holding nuance and turns something complex into something absolute. And it'll sound like this. You'll look at a situation as if it's good or bad, safe or unsafe, succeeding or failing. And the thing is this, the upside is when we notice this pattern, we can begin to loosen it. So when I describe splitting, I often think of computer code, the ones, the zeros. It's very binary, very final. Yet when this kind of thinking runs in the background, the body can stop feeling like a living system and start feeling like it's giving us a flashing message. The message that says, you're failing, you've let yourself go, you're not safe, you're not enough. And that's the shift we actually want to notice. And the reason we want to notice this is because the body may be giving us information, yet splitting turns this information into identity. This is because we believe that we are our body. Instead of seeing weight as something influenced by sleep, stress, hormones, habits, and environment, the mind actually turns it into a statement about our worth, our discipline, lovability, and our future. So that's when the body stops being experienced as a body and it starts being interpreted more like proof. So this is what splitting sounds like in our self-talk. If you want to start identifying it, it can sound like, I am a failure. This is with just one mistake. Nothing works. I'll always be like this. If I'm not perfect, I'm doing it wrong. So notice that these aren't just simple observations. They are identity conclusions. Once the mind makes these identity conclusions, the body can start feeling like it's testifying against us. And then it becomes as if every mirror, every photo, and every number on the scale is delivering that same flashing message. This is who you are. That's part of why hopelessness rushes in so quickly and swiftly. Hope actually needs flexibility, and splitting feels rigid and final, certain. And the thing is this, that finality can be strangely relieving at first because certainty often feels safer than ambiguity. If the mind can reach a verdict, even if it's a painful, ugly one, it no longer has to sit with that discomfort of uncertainty, the mixed feelings, or the complexity. And that's part of the function of splitting. It's actually a process we do in order to reduce anxiety. It creates a sense of control. Isn't that interesting? It actually creates a sense of control. And even that, if that is through negativity, that helps us relieve that anxiety. So now this is why that walk that we take, that afternoon nature walk, it means more than a walk. The meal means more than a meal. The number on the scale means more than a number. Everything starts to mean, am I good or am I bad? Am I succeeding? Am I failing? Safe or unsafe in my own skin? And that kind of thinking usually doesn't last. So even if we start out strong, the moment we get dysregulated yet again, that old story returns, and the plan that we had in place, it collapses with it. So here's a small practice for today. I invite you to try this sentence and ask yourself this question. Am I noticing my body, or am I turning it into a statement about who I am? And then when you get that glimpse in the mirror of yourself, say to yourself, this is data, not destiny. So now in our next episode, we're going to identify more deeply splitting in our self-talk and the message we absorb from those around us. And we are going to take a little look at the mass media and how the mass media fuels the splitting loop. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for visiting today, and I'll talk to you soon.